So we are having a C++ file, and now I'm going to write a C++ program in which we will be creating a function. So how to create function, how to write function, we will be seeing in a C++ program. So first I'm starting the C++ program by adding this statement, which is going to add the IOStream type. So IOStream type we add so that we can use cout and cin, the standard output and input streams in our program. So this IOStream is present in standard namespace. So for which we need to add this line using namespace std. So both the lines are added so that we can use cout and cin in our program. Now I'm adding the main function, opening and closing the main function with curly bracket. Now, other than main, if you want to write any user defined function, now let's take here a function void display. So I will be giving the syntax also. So whenever we write function, so main is also a function, display is also a function. So whenever we write a function, while writing function, we use we use the return type. Return type is nothing but the result type of function, followed by the function name. So what result the function is going to return back, that type we mention here. If we are mentioning void, that means function is not going to return anything. If we are mentioning int, then function is supposed to return a integer type of result. So parenthesis, within the parenthesis we write parameters, and then we start the function definition with curly bracket, end it with closing curly bracket. Within these brackets we write statements for execution, and if there is any return type mentioned, this return type can be any of the data types. And if you are using any any data type here in place of return type, then you will be using return keyword followed by that type of result, whatever result you will be returning. So this result has to be of this return type. So let's see practically. So first I have taken void display. So this is our function by name display, return type void. Now whenever we are writing function, we need to use three elements of function. So this is the definition. This is just the definition which contains the executable statements of function. So this is definition of function. Other than definition, there has to be a declaration of function before main function. So whenever we are writing a function after main, we need to declare it. So for declaring, we use return type, function name, and the parameters same as this, and we end here it with semicolon. So this is called declaration. This is called definition. Now function is also called. So for execution of this function, we need to call it within main. So for calling it with main, in main, we need to call it with the name, that is function name. No need of writing return type in the calling statement. We just write function name followed by parameter values. So whatever values you need to provide here, that you write here. So parameter values you provide for these parameters. So these are the three elements. First is declaration, then is the definition, then is the function calling for its execution. Now let's see it practically. So here is the display function. Now I did not write anything. So I'm just writing a single statement that displays welcome. So now suppose if I just compile, I am going to get 0 errors or warnings. And if I run, I get no output. So you can see there is no output. The execution is ended. Now, if you want to get this welcome on output screen, then you need to invoke this. So whenever you are calling this function, you require the function name followed by the parameter values. So there are no parameters, so no values we are providing, and end it with semicolon. Now again, one more thing is missing. There are only two elements. One is definition, other is calling, but declaration is also required. So if you don't write declaration and compile first, then we get a display was not declared in the scope error. We get an error that it is not declared. So for declaring, you will require the function signature, that is return type, function name, and the parameters. As it is, you need to copy without the definition. No definition, just the function name along with its return type and parameters is written in function declaration. So this is function declaration. And then here, this is called function call or calling, and this is function definition. So three elements will be required whenever you are using function in your program. So here, function definition, function call, function declaration. This is function declaration. So these are the three elements. Now if I compile, I get no errors, that you can see, zero errors or warnings. And when I run, if I run, I get the output printed as welcome, which is from display function. So this is how we write function in C++. Now suppose if you don't want to declare it, then instead of defining it after the main, you can define it before main. So when you are defining the function before main, then at that time you don't require declaration. So you can remove the declaration at that time, which I am doing now. So I am going to remove this declaration, and then sorry, I'm removing this declaration. Only definition is present and calling is present. Now if I now compile, I get zero errors, and when I run, I get the same output, welcome. So if you are writing the function definition before main function, then no need of declaration. But if you are writing the same after main, then you will get error if you don't declare. So you are going to get error. So at that time, you will be requiring the declaration, which will be nothing but the function return type along with the function name and parameters, like this. So if I now compile, I get no errors, like this. So this is how function is used in C++. So different types of functions, function with return type, without return type, with parameters, without parameters, what is return keyword, how it is used, we will be seeing in other videos.